Once upon a time, in international storytelling online course, I met a girl. She was blonde, and hearing her talking, I thought she might be from Scandinavia. But as a corporate maestro, I started to listen her voice, because my work is to connect business and also arts, and I especially pay attention how people speak. And her voice was so calming, so nice, and I recognized soon this Swiss accent. And I got very curious. And it was first time, both of us, and we were quite nervous about, like every time when you speak with people who are native speakers. So welcome to the podcast, First Times. There are many first and the many first conversations podcast made by Regula Fischer. Welcome to your own podcast.
Wow, Anu, what an introduction. Thank you so much. How unique.
Very good, because you learned a lot about me, and I know that you have so many side colors. So please, how do you feel at the moment to be on the other side of the
You mentioned
table?
Colors. I feel a bit pink, even though I'm wearing red, but I love colors. Yeah. No, I'm feeling very excited, to be honest. I'm curious. I'm like, okay, what is she going to say next? Because that's what happens with me when I listen to you. I'm just captivated. I'm like, okay, watching your face, listening to your voice. Yeah, I am.
Thank you very much. Is this the first time when someone is asking questions from you in your own podcast?
Yes, definitely. I mean, who can be so crazy? That's only you, I guess.
So thank you very much. It's a great honor. So, there are so many first things. I open now to answer all those other questions, what I would like to ask. Or is there some like very secret, hidden parts in your life what you don't want to open?
No, I cannot think of anything now. What the thing is, though, I'm obviously on my speaking journey, and it may be a bit different. The background may be a bit different from yours, because I've definitely not been someone that was on any stages. I was hiding from those things. So for me, it's really the process of cracking open and finding a voice and the courage to let words come out and express what's going on inside. And what I sometimes hope or assume that people would just see in my face. But no, it really takes me to express those, right? So I'm still sometimes encountering moments where I'm not sure what to say when a question comes. And that's now maybe a bit funny, but I often struggle with the question, how are you? I just don't know what to say, because where to start?
Yeah,
with
what kind of imagination they have to ask, how are you? This is quite,
That's why I like to answer with colors. It's just that, then people, if you want to be part of a society and community, you need to make sure people understand you, right? If you just say, I'm blue today. Yeah, okay, blue is maybe known, but... Yeah.
Okay, you say you're pink, and definitely you are red at the moment. So please, after that you created this podcast and you have many other things, please, what you would like your audience know the most?
About me?
Yes.
Yeah, I do think it is really about the many first. It is just what's been with me for the past years. And it's been such a powerful coach for myself. So it's like my own system, my own coaching system, and also my own little game. I'm really a collector of first times. So I collect them daily. I'm so aware that's just what happens once you set your mind on something, on an idea. And again, this can be productive and healthy and supportive, or of course it can go down the other way. But for me, it's really this finding the courage again and again to speak, to express. That's on a daily basis, and it helps me to just know it's the first time that I would now do that. And then it also gives me this kind of celebratory feeling internally, like, oh yeah, another first. And even sometimes if it doesn't go well, I mean, whatever we use to judge whether something went well or not, I can say, well, at least I created the first time. So I keep going on my journey of creating courage again and again, and hopefully inviting others to also find the courage again and again. And this goes in all facets of life. I think I've had many firsts in terms of living in different places. For example, I was in China for multiple years. That's sometimes what is maybe not known, but it's something I'm forever grateful for. I've lived in other countries. So there's like these geographical firsts, but I'm most proud of the mental and emotional firsts that I can achieve, in terms of really creating new thoughts, getting rid of thoughts that I don't want to think anymore, and managing my emotions in ways that help me. And then also the social ones. Whenever I'm able to connect and inspire, that gives me a lot.
Wonderful, just beautiful to listen. This was very lovely. You said you can't speak. I think I could
that?
just leave and you can speak, and this is all absolutely beautiful.
It's just again and again still a struggle, depending on the topic and the person. Also, that's another thing.
But why we need to be brave?
Afraid.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
It's a good question. I think I was not aware. It was just a pattern that I trained myself into, to rather be silent and listen. I think listening it's a bit like yin and yang. I think listening forms part of speaking. It is like, and I had too much of the one, the yin, or now I'm discovering the yang. And of course, ideally, these are in balance. But then again, we also know that in life, oftentimes it's more about phases or waves that come and go. So I definitely had more of silence and listening. And maybe through that also developing a certain empathy for people, because I observe more than I would express and speak. So, yeah.
I totally agree that listening is sometimes even more hard, because you need to really listen what the other says, but usually people tend to think their own thoughts, and then it goes somewhere else, and sometimes people take over the conversation because this reminds me how everyone wants to speak so much, but listening is something which is more beautiful, and to keep this back and really to pay attention to what the other people are saying, this sometimes can keep away so many conflicts and misunderstandings.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I was always fascinated by people who could just talk, And somehow I was comfortable also around such people because I know I wouldn't need to talk. I could just be there. But then I was at the same time kind of really wondering how someone could just talk and talk and talk and not at any point feel like he or she would want to ask me something or to, I sometimes felt the connection was not there, even though I was listening. And so, it's an interesting topic.
As the person who is usually asking from other questions, you know exactly that everyone wants to hear about themselves. It's not like about me or about you, but we talk something, and to connect them better, we need somehow to rise this interest and take them to the journey. And if they feel connected, they will come with you with pleasure, and then their world will also open. So you were the one who were sitting there in the back row, and now you made the podcast. So what you have learned from that?
I just learned how powerful it can be to really speak or to provide a platform. I see that people really are happy about being able to share. And I also like the concept of firsts in general. I feel that just realizing how courageous we are again and again. And with that, I just see that it's actually not so scary, right? Nothing really happened in a bad sense, in that sense, or even again, even if it would be a first time, right? But really seeing that it doesn't hurt, that I can do it, and I will still be alive the next day. And the very interestingly, I usually worried most about what the most intimate environment would then say if I start doing that, which is just, sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, why would I have this worry? Of course, because I want to have the connection and the support, and I worry that maybe not everyone would understand. But for me, it's really about providing this platform for courage seekers, because I just know, I read once in a post somewhere in a community, I think on Facebook or so, where someone asked, what is it that you need most to pursue your dreams? And when I was scrolling through the answers, there were, I don't know how many 100 comments. Courage was the word that came up most. And I was like, okay, this is exactly how I feel, right? If I want to speak, if I want to be heard and seen, I need to find the courage again and again to go out there. So the podcast is definitely a way for me to just remind me of my courage that I want to continue building, but then also inspiring others by having guests that talk about their courageous moments.
Beautiful, just really beautiful. I'm so like inspired to listen to you. And when we were talking last time, you said that you went to study acting.
Yeah.
So would you like to open a little bit to why you went to study acting?
Yeah, I was always interested in, always. I remember at high school, at least, there was a theater group that we had, and I would have wanted to join, but I was too scared to apply because I was sure that I would not be accepted. So I just pushed that away as a kind of an idea or something I would have wanted to explore. I pushed away other things also, like writing is another thing that I love doing. And there were years in my life where I know these things just kept like as if they were on the side, like again and again saying, hello, I'm also still here. Hello, can you still remember me? And I just was like, too busy. Mostly that in my mind, oh no, I'm busy now. I need to study. I need to earn money, right? I can't deal with that now. So the years went on and on and on. And of course, my soul started to be more and more in pain, I think, because of that. It became really a thing, or the moment was there a few years ago where I felt there was a pain in my soul. I'm touching my heart now, but it felt like my soul is screaming for attention. And that's when I started this whole journey of, okay, I want to write, I write. I want to express myself, I go on that journey, and I want to act. And it is giving me a lot, because in acting, in that safe space, I can go into roles that I have not had in life. And for example, just being loud, me as someone in the background being silent, just letting my voice fill the room, it led to the situation that this week, for the first time, I screamed at someone in public. But it was, poor guy, but in the end we laughed. It was a construction site, and they were guiding people to go around, because they had big trucks there to unload and stuff. So they wanted pedestrians to be safe. And I was on the phone, and I was in a conversation where I had to pay attention.
Yes.
And I heard the guy like, la, 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 go there, go there, go there. And I stepped a bit too close to the area that they were securing. And then he was like, wow, like screaming at me, hey, hey, hey. And then I just turned my head and said, hey, hey, hey. And that sounds a bit like, I was really like, hey, hey, hey. I was like, oh, my voice can be so loud. But we looked at each other and started laughing. And I said, yeah, I'm going. And the person on the phone was like, what is it? Are you okay? Are you being attacked? And I'm, no. I just screamed for the first time in public. And it felt so good. I'm not saying that I'm promoting screaming in public here, but then I realized how often we're shushed, right? We're being told. I see it all the times how children are told to be quiet. And I just know it felt so good to just let that scream go out.
I feel it. I feel it. This from my childhood, where we went to the bigger city, and then they said be silent, and I couldn't be silent because I was the girl from the nature. And then we all learned somehow to suppress this, and you try to be calm and nice, and everything is super. So, what is the first? What comes to your mind first? So now you are studying acting, and what is this perfect role, what you have had, or some experiences what audience doesn't know?
I love that question. Thank you. Oh, yeah, definitely. So I have this dream of being in a Roman movie. A movie about the Roman period of time, because I had Latin in school for 7 years. And I was one, or was it 6? Anyway, many years. And I was one of the students who loved it. And I really loved Latin, and since then the world of the Romans that I got access through these texts that we translated and so on, it has just stayed in me, and it's always a highlight to go to Rome and see these ancient buildings that are still around. I always feel like so small in front of what all we have achieved as human beings. And I'm not saying that everything the Romans did was rosy and good, but I'm also very sporty. I love moving, you know. So if it was Gladiator, but as a woman, I would love to have that role. Yeah, so seriously, that would be super nice. Or I could maybe also a princess from that time. You know, what was it, like Queen Helena or Empress Helena? Maybe also that role. So it's just something like that.
That's lovely. So if you heard that, she's here waiting her chance. She opened her mouth. It means that this is now to the universe, and this is up to you to catch it.
So I can do both the with the sword or
exactly.
I'm the empress.
Good girl again. Yeah. So what will be the next first thing for you to do now?
To do now, right now?
Like today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow?
So one thing is I will celebrate my father's 75th birthday for the first time, of course. And another thing is that, believe it or not, I will go and buy the first computer monitor. I have never bought one. I've always just sat on laptops. And now that I do more writing, editing, videos and so on, I think it will be good also for my health to have something that I can look at more comfortably.
Oh, lovely. You have a list already on the wall, I think. You have everything what you would like to do.
I have many Post-its in colors, all kinds of colors.
Okay. More than pink?
Yes, more than pink. I love orange, green, yellow, blue, all of them. Purple.
Okay. That's lovely.
That was one of the best inventions for me, Post-its.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. This was very, very inspirational.
You.
And if you feel inspirational, please go to her website, which is
manyfirsts.com.
Exactly. And also subscribe to her podcast and also watch the Oxford talk. There she is sharing beautifully everything what you need to hear. So thank you very much, Regula, for answering all those questions and to be on the other side of this table. And my name is Tähemaa. I thank you very much for watching, and it was lovely time with you. We see somewhere else. Thank you very much for this honor for me to be your first who will interview you.
Thank you. Podcast.
In your podcast, exactly. All the best to you, and see you other time, other place.
No.